So now I'm going to show you how to do the spool block. So we're going to be doing 2 blocks because one is tall and one is wide, but even though they're constructed the same way, I'll show you the step after how we're going to do that with these leftover strips. First off, I always do my easy corner triangles first. I've done those on all 4 of the ends. Now I just need to sew this to this, this to this, this to this, this to this. And again, I would be normally sewing all, I think there's 13 spools in the quilt. I would sew them all at the same time, but I'm just showing you one of each. Okay, I'm going to press these seams open again. Okay, bring them back over here. Now I just need to sew each end on. Just see how I'm easing that in. You could really stretch that out. So I just make sure the ends match up. So when I'm sewing small pieces like this, I really take my time, make sure I can see exactly what's going on, and just match everything up before I sew. I make sure I don't just run it through and hope they match up and guess. I really try at each intersection where a seam matches another seam that they're met up the way that they should before I sew. Okay, give it a quick little press to set the seams on these. There's a lot of seams going a lot of different directions, so I want to make sure they're flat. And just open it up. At this point you can open to see if you like how they matched. And then you can unsew and fix it if you don't. But typically when you press the seams open and you line it up like that I showed you at the machine, you don't have much of a problem if the cutting is accurate and you have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. These are ones I'm going to set over here to dry, or cool I should say, not dry. This little spool has a tendency for the seams to pop up, but that's okay. It still lies flatter than if you would have had the seams going all different ways. And laying them out here, maybe putting something heavy on them like I showed you when I made the checkerboard star helps a lot. So this orange spool will be a tall one. This one is a wide. And so to make that wide, I just take these two strips on all the wide spools and I'm going to sew them on the ends here. Make sure the ends meet up, everything's straight, the edges meet. If you have a hard time getting into little areas like this, you can always use a tailor's awl or use your seam ripper if you're afraid you're going to run over your fingers. Ender square there. And these side ones right here, you could press to one side, but see how it adds a little ridge? That's why I like to be consistent and just press the seams open. Even though they want to pop up just a little bit. Leave the iron on there for just a minute longer. And on smaller pieces like this too, you could typically press from the top, but when I'm pressing my seams open, I usually don't have to do that. But when you have a lot of little seams, it's nice to do that sometimes. Okay, so see how this one is now going sideways. This is tall, but by adding these two extra strips on the outside, that makes up the difference. So there's the spool blocks.